All right, today we're going to talk about using slopes and intercepts. So this smart file is really just going to walk you through your notes. You also have a PowerPoint video, so you can choose to use either one. Both of them will help you get through your notes, okay? All right, so the first thing that we're going to see, we're going to talk about our intercepts. What is an intercept, okay? The x-intercept of a line is the value where the line crosses the x-axis. And whenever a line crosses the x-axis, that ordered pair is something, some value of x, and 0 for the y. So the x always crosses the x-axis when y equals 0. So the x-intercept on this graph right here the value of x would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So the x-intercept is 4. All right, just like intercepts for x, there's also a y-intercept. The y-intercept is where the line crosses the y-axis. So the line crosses the y-axis when the value of x is 0. In this line that I have drawn for you, the y-intercept is 1, 2, 3. Okay? So remember, intercepts just mean the place where the line crosses that axis. So if we're talking about the y-intercept, I need to know where the line crosses the y-axis. If I want to know the value of the x-intercept, it's where the line crosses the x-axis. All right. So now we're going to find the x and the y-intercept of a line. I want you to find the x and the y-intercept of a line. This actually shouldn't be there, that's not correct. Find the x and the y-intercept of the line negative 3x plus 4y equals 12. Okay? So remember we said that the x-intercept, the line crosses the x-axis when the y equals 0. And then the y-intercept, the line crosses the y-axis when x equals 0. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to substitute in some values. So first, let's solve for the x-intercept. So to do that, I have to say let y equal 0. All right, so I'm going to take this equation, negative 3x plus 4y equals 12. And I'm going to substitute in the value y equals 0. Negative 3x plus 4 times 0 equals 12. Negative 3x equals 12. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 3 and find out that x equals negative 4. Okay? So that means that I can go over to my graph and I can graph the point negative 4 on the x-axis. All right? So now we've solved for the x-intercept. We need to solve for the y-intercept. Okay? So remember that we solved for the y-intercept by setting x equal to 0. So I'm going to use the same equation, and I'm going to let x equal 0. I'm going to do this to solve for the y-intercept. Okay? So I'm going to let x equal 0. So I'm going to take this original equation, negative 3x plus 4y equals 12. I'm going to substitute in the value of 0 for x. So I have negative 3 times 0 plus 4y equals 12. So 4y equals 12, because 3 times 0 is 0. Divide both sides by 4. Y equals 3. So I'm going to graph that. That's my y-intercept, or the place where the line crosses the y-axis. Okay? Now all I need to do is connect the dots. Okay? A little time consuming, but if you remember that you're just graphing a line using the intercepts, it's pretty easy. Okay? Let's try another example. Here, we're going to graph an equation that is written in slope-intercept form. Remember, that's the form y equals mx plus b. Remember, m is the slope and b is the y-intercept, okay? So here we're going to graph the equation y equals 1/3 x minus 2. Y equals 1/3 x minus 2. Okay, so modeling this equation, I see that m is the number attached to the x variable, or the x term. So my slope is 1/3. And b, which means the y-intercept, b is -2. This equation that I'm modeling has to be plus b. If I wanted to turn the equation that I had into plus b, I would have to chum. So that tells me plus a -2. So b is -2. All right? Now I can graph this by first off graphing the point that I crossed the y-axis. That's what my y-intercept is. That's the point that I crossed the y-axis. So I'm going to put a dot right there, put a point right there. And then I have a slope of 1/3. Remember that slope is the same thing as rise over run. So if I have a slope of 1/3, that means that I'm going to go up 1 unit and then to the right 3. Up 1 unit, to the right 3. Put a point. Up 1 unit, to the right 3. Put a point. Up 1 unit, to the right 3. Put a point. I'm going to just connect my dots. Okay? So that's how you graph a line using slope-intercept form. Okay? So here I have another example. We're going to graph this equation using the same thing, slope-intercept form. Remember, that's y equals mx plus b. So when I graph this using slope-intercept form, if I rewrite the equation I'm given, y equals -4x, I don't have a b. Plus 0. Plus 0. So let's see. I know that my slope is the number attached to the x term. So my slope is -4, which is the same thing as -4 over 1. And I'll explain in a minute why we do that. And then my y-intercept is 0. Okay. So I'm going to graph my y-intercept. This line crosses the y-axis when y equals 0. Put a point right there. And then I have a slope of -4, or -4 over 1. That means I'm going to go down 4 and to the right 1. Down 4, 2, 3, 4, to the right 1. I'll do it again. Oh, I'm going to run out of room. So what if I rewrote this as 4 over -1? It's really the same thing. So instead I can go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and to the left 1. Okay? That's a little tricky. I just want to make sure I have at least 3 points. So let me try and connect the dots on that one. Connect the lines. Over that. Just draw it with my marker. Okay. Now we're going to write the equation of a line that passes through the given point 8, 3, and the point 4, 1 in slope-intercept form. So I'm just given two ordered pairs, and I'm asking you to write an equation. That's crazy. How can you write an equation given two ordered pairs? Well, step number 1. First thing you need to do is find the slope of the line. Find m. And we can do that using y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm going to go ahead and label these. Okay? So y2, negative 1, minus y1, 3, divided by x2, 4, minus x1, 8. Okay. I'm going to choo-choo, just so you can see what's going on. Negative 1 plus negative 3 is negative 4. 4 plus a negative 8 is negative 4. Negative 4 over negative 4, that's the same thing as 1. So m equals 1. That's my slope. Okay? Step number 2 says choose either point, so I can use the 8, 3, or I can use the 4, negative 1, and you're going to substitute it into the equation and solve for b. Okay, well, I don't want to mess with negatives, so I'm going to use this point. I'm going to use the 8, 3 point. So I'm going to take the value of 8 and substitute it in wherever I see x. Take the value of 3 and substitute it in where I see y. So y is 3. X is 8. All right. So I've substituted in my ordered pair. I'll write it here so you can see what I'm doing. I've substituted in my ordered pair, but I also know what the slope is. We just calculated it. The slope is 1, so I have 3 equals 1 times 8 plus b. Well, 1 times 8 is 8, so 3 equals 8 plus b. I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. I get negative 5 equals b. Okay? So now I have calculated b. Remember, b is my y-intercept. So I need to write an equation in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b, for those 2 points. And I can do that because I know what my slope is, and I know what the value of b is. That seems super easy. Y equals 1x plus negative 5. But you know what? We don't really write plus negative 5. A better way to write this would be minus 5, and we really don't even need to put a 1 in front of that x. So how about y equals x minus 5. That looks better. Okay. Last thing, we can write the equation of a line based on its graph just by knowing a couple of points. Let's see. I know from this point right here that my line crosses the y-axis at negative 3. So b is negative 3. And then I could maybe count the slope if I wanted. Up 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2. So I went up 3 and over 2. Or if I didn't feel comfortable doing that, I could use the y2 minus y1, but this is much easier. So now I know that my y-intercept is negative 3, my slope is 3/2. So the equation would be y equals 3/2 x minus 3. Remember, we're always going to model y equals mx plus b. Okay? My slope is 3/2, and b is negative 3. That's it. That's all I have for you.